Good morning. Welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Raddick, your host. Delighted to have you with us this beautiful Thursday morning. I'm normally here Mondays, so this is a very special program to get me to come around the building during the week. Anyway, welcome. Now, I always forget this part of the show. You can listen at 1330 AM, 106.3 FM. You can find us streaming live at newstalk1330.com. We're also on your smartphone on the TuneIn app. And we are also on Facebook Live at the News Talk 1330 Facebook page. So that means if you have some comments that you want to put on Facebook, we'll be happy to see if we can get to them. By the time I get through talking about all this, the show will be over. And we also have, believe it or not, a regular phone line, and you can actually call us at 678-601-TALK, 678-601-8255. With all that said, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have honored to have in studio Pastor Shannon Lovelady, Southern Hills Christian Church at City Station, and Kirby Butler, who's committee chair. And welcome. This is our encore presentation from October 23rd, 2017, and a lot has happened in that short period of time. But because a lot has happened, I want to deliberately, consciously, before we start talking about City Station and all the marvelous, wonderful things that it is and will be, and they're enormous, it takes forever. And in the midst of all that, we tend to sometimes forget to talk a little bit about the church.
Right.
And we want to do that. And so I want to put that at the beginning of the program rather than tag it at the end, if I might. Tell us, because this is a monumental, amazing project, and I think we'd be remiss in not taking a moment to look at Southern Hills Christian Church and find out a little bit about a church that would engage in something like this. So I'll allow both of y'all maybe to kind of address that. In other words, last time we talked about a strategic vision. So tell us a little bit about the church that would allow it to come to the forefront with this strategic vision.
So our mission, first of all, thanks for having us, and I'm impressed you could remember all that stuff on the front end. That's a lot of stuff. But anyhow, so our mission as a church is simply just making disciples and make disciples. I believe, in a nutshell, that's probably in some way, shape, or form every church's mission or should be. So that's who we are. And I think a lot of times we get confused when it comes to the church and think that the church is about a building. And so I appreciate that we're not just talking about this pretty cool building, pretty cool tool, City Station, but I've told our church, honestly, for months that it's just another incredible tool, but it doesn't change who we are, and who we are disciples making disciples, and honestly, we're just about the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and trying to share that and the hope that we have with the community. And so for us, City Station is just a tool and able to hopefully share that mission a little bit better as a church.
Okay, I'll buy that. But generally, when a church starts out, maybe in a storefront, by God's grace, it grows and it gets in the building and it loses space. And as Kirby said in our last show, when the chicken farm gets too small, you generally go out and buy another chicken farm, or add on to the sanctuary, or onto or build a new building.
Right.
You incur some debt to do that, and that's the standard operating practice. Not to be critical of it, but that's generally what you see.
Right.
Obviously, that must have been a topic of discussion at some point.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit more and get a little closer.
Sure. So I'll speak from the church member perspective. So I vividly remember the Sunday when Shannon cast the vision for our church. It's hard to believe that was 4 years ago this fall, but it really did flip what we've always thought of as traditional church totally upside down. And as a church member, I loved that. I loved the idea of a facility that was not for us, that we don't need to have these beautiful buildings that are only for us. Those of us who are there on Sunday, we already know Jesus. So we really want to have a facility that will bring other people in to be able to learn who he is, to really strengthen that relationship with the Lord, in really unconventional ways. So I love that this facility is not a church. It's very much a community community center that we will meet in. Shannon has prepared us that we are going to be inconvenienced as a church. We have enjoyed a facility that is solely for us, and that's not going to be the case anymore. We'll be a portable church in our own building, and I think our church as a whole can't wait for that. We really want the community to use our facility, and that's why we've created all the different parts of the community center. Hopefully there are several aspects of our project that will appeal to everyone in the community, and so far the response has been great.
Well, we'll go through all of those many parts of the project that have this mass appeal. But we need to say this several times, and we should have basically started with this. This Saturday's a big day.
Yes.
What time?
Saturday, 11 to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who's welcome?
Everyone. Yeah, please, everyone. Come one, come all. All kinds of, it's just going to be a fun day just for the community to be able to come out, kind of see every piece of City Station and what it's about. I know they've been watching it go up, for the last several months, and to be able to come in, tour it, see what it's about. Lots of free stuff. We got free food, games for the kids, climbing wall. Just be a great time for our community to hang out and get to know each other a little bit better, and hopefully learn a little bit more what City Station's about.
And then services are Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, we are back to 2 services on Sunday, which I'm super excited about. But 9:15 and 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. If you don't have a church home, we'd love for you to join us.
That's right. And parking's going to be good.
Parking is going to be amazing. We got we had, I think, at least 45 folks out there last night. That some of our greeter folks and then our parking team, and they've been working hard on the plan. So we anyhow, that Food Depot's been great to say, hey, you can use the back end of our parking lot. So we should have plenty of parking for Sundays.
There's so many things, but we're going to need to kind of get back into the thing. But this is so significant because basically you're taking the church into the world. Mm-hmm. And does that concern you in any way that you're not? I don't even know how to describe it. That we're going to affect the world, mm-hmm. but we don't want to be affected by it to the point that we lose our mission and our commitment to the gospel.
I think we definitely got to be careful to stay true to the gospel at the end of the day. But I think Scripture is pretty clear about being in the world but not of the world, and I think as long as we keep Jesus the main thing, keep Him first, keep ourselves in check, and make sure that that's what we're about. I think that's who we're supposed to be, is to be in the world. I think that, I believe that's who Jesus was. He went to where the people were, did what He could do to make the truth of who He is known, the hope that He has known, and I think we've got the same mission.
On Facebook Live, Justin Richards, who's pastor of First Baptist Bowden, says, congratulations, Shannon Lovelady and the Southern Hills family.
Awesome.
So
thanks,
Thank you.
We're going to take a break here from Tanner Health System, and we'll be back with more after this word.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time, is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
Good morning. Welcome back to Community Voice. I'm Steve Graddick, your host, and the topic today, City Station. We're honored to have in studio Kirby Butler, committee chair, Pastor Shannon Lovelady of Southern Hills Christian Church. And City Station is, which is an operation.
It is an operation.
Well, that's a good, I did that on purpose, actually, because you've used the term, and Kirby's used the term about multi-purpose. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Well, really, every aspect of City Station, with the exception of our Covenant student housing, was designed to have more than one use. So, perfect example of that is our children's space. So, obviously, we need a place for our children to be for their worship services on Sunday. So that will be birth through kindergarten. So that space will be used as a preschool during the week. Our gymnasium will be open for anything you can imagine during the week. That's where our church will hold its services on Sunday. On the second floor, we've got multi-purpose rooms that you can rent for any reason you can imagine: birthday parties, corporate functions, meetings during the week. On Sunday, that's where our K-6 kids will hold their services. So what we did with our architect is spend a ton of time designing our building so that we have maximized really every inch of the building to create space where people can hang out and just be in our building, hopefully 7 days a week. So, we started with the need of the church and then really looked at that. How can we give that more than one use so the community can really enjoy it?
Shannon, Kirby mentioned about the meeting rooms, and I want to, normally when we talk about this, we tend to kind of run through that pretty quickly. But the meeting rooms are really a critical part, because if the community is really going to embrace this, that means they're going to be meeting.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So could you elaborate on your vision on how these meeting rooms should serve the public?
So the second floor, what she talked about, we've got large conference type meeting rooms, and we've also got smaller meeting rooms. The large conference type rooms, the easiest way to look at it is like a conference center at a hotel or something like that. We've got the portable walls that go in and out. It can be one large room that seats, we think it's probably going to be about 200 people around tables that you could do a banquet at, whatever event you might want to do. We've also got, then you can break that into smaller, 4 smaller rooms that each of those, again, can seat, I don't know, probably 40 to 50 in each of those. You could do classes, events. Kirby did say, she talked about renting those. I want to clarify and make sure we're clear on that the way we've designed this is that, if you're a mom wanting to do a birthday party, for your little girl or whatever, those rooms can be totally free to you. The only rental in that is just a security deposit to say, just please leave it like you found it. There'll be instructions there as well. Or, if a corporation in town would like to come in and do a banquet but says, hey, we don't want to set it up, we actually want to pay you guys to do that, they can do that as well if that's easier for them. But we wanted to make it to where whether you're a corporation or a family, you have money, don't have money, this place is for you. And it's, opened up for you to use however you would like. And
so far we've had really good response. I've gotten a lot of inquiries already wanting to reserve those spaces, which is great. Corporate events, the university is inquiring about renting some spaces for some of their meetings, and even a bar mitzvah, which is my favorite so far. Truly, if you can imagine it, you can have it there, which is great.
Okay. And it's got all the audio visual stuff.
Oh yes, state of the art. It's pretty incredible.
And the wireless microphones will work.
They will. They will.
That'd be a good thing. There's so much about this, but let's go ahead and jump upstairs to the fitness center.
Okay.
Because that gives me a moment, the ability to brag on Eddie Duffy a bit.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about the fitness center.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. So I'll brag on Eddie. We feel like that has just been an incredible godsend for us, and the timing was perfect as he was retiring from West Georgia to come over. And Eddie, actually, a lot of people don't know, helped start Southern Hills 20-something years ago, he and 2 other families. And so it's been neat.
That's
for
kind
that
of what
to
I
come
was
full
referencing
circle.
in the building in the beginning. So they started in somebody's house? Or?
Yeah, they met in the basement, and 3 families. They met there for a few months, and then Easter Sunday, I guess 21 years ago, that may be off on that, 21, 22 years ago, had their first service at Sportsplex, and then which Eddie owned at the time, and then eventually moved to the high school, and then eventually to where we are. So it's been fun for him to come full circle. And if you know Eddie, he is just a fireball. He's ready to roll. We're excited about that.
It's phenomenon, that's for sure. Hero to us. Pre-K. Very important.
Very important. It's actually a preschool, so 1-year-olds through 4-year-olds. Okay. And I believe our program is almost full. There may be a few spots available for the fall, but the response has been tremendous. As a mother of small children, I wasn't sure how enrollment would go since parents couldn't tour the facility, but we are almost full, which is great. So very, very excited about that.
And I think you said this is only Christian preschool.
It's an
Extended day.
extended day
Mhm.
Christian preschool, which in order to be extended day, you have to be state licensed, and that, a lot of other hoops that you got to jump through with that. But we felt like that there are a lot of incredible quality Christian preschools run by other churches in town. So we said, okay, how can we minister in a different way? And this is a way that we could minister to families that needed preschool for their kids the entire day.
So where else can you find in the same building a 1-year-old student and then a 19-year-old student? I mean, you got them from, Anyway, critical part is the dorms upstairs and 60 students. This is so critical.
Yeah, we are, and I want to clarify. Like, a lot of people call them dorms, but they're apartments. They're full-fledged apartments. It's they've got a fully functioning kitchen, living room, bedroom. Each bedroom has their own bath. We're up to, the last I heard, I think we're at about 45 leased. My gut is after Saturday in the open house, it'll just be a few days and we'll be fully leased. So if that's something that you're interested in,
or someone who would,
or someone who is, you need to jump on that.
Right. And this is going to be an important part of the financial package, right?
Absolutely. Yep. And probably one of my favorite pieces of the project as a whole. So obviously we'll receive rent from those students that will help us service the note on the project while we have it. But that rent will continue indefinitely. So as a church, we've committed that when the debt on the project has been retired, we will create a fund where the rental income will be pushed back into the community. We estimate probably $20,000 to $25,000 a month that we'll be able to push back into the community. And we have no idea what that looks like yet, but the possibilities really are endless. The city has been a tremendous partner of ours, and we've let them know we are very open to them letting us know what needs may be in the future. So very excited about that and just very committed to staying a good partner with the city.
Parents, rightfully so, I think, in today's culture, are always very concerned about when their kids, are ready to fly away and go off to college.
Right.
Even if they go to a Christian school, the world creeps in, and before you know it, this darling little child of theirs is doing who knows what.
Right.
Tell us about how y'all are addressing that in terms of the discipleship in the apartments.
Okay, so the heartbeat behind the apartments is, exactly what you said. Depending on what you read, anywhere from 70 to 90% of Christian students walk away from their faith in their college years. Our desire was to reverse that trend, and for college students, specifically college students in this little corner of the world, whether it be the technical college, the university, online, whoever you might be, that we actually grow their faith stronger in their college years. So basically, to live in our apartments, you have to be committed to discipleship. We'll have 4 males or 4 females in each apartment. We actually have students who have applied to be kind of lead mentors or lead disciplers, if you will, that their job is to pour into those other 3 students that live in their apartment. We actually partner with Christian Campus Fellowship and Campus Outreach there at the University of West Georgia. Tyler Rollison and Rhonda Ivy are male and female, who are then pouring into our lead students so that they can in turn disciple those underneath them as well, to live at our campus. We're a drug-free, alcohol-free, sex-free campus, and just basically coveting to live a Christian lifestyle while you're there. They've got to be involved in a local church. Doesn't have to be Southern Hills, but in a church, committed to a church, and then also serving a certain amount of hours a month.
Tell us about that. So serving a certain amount of hours per month. How do you see that?
Well, we believe that a huge part of discipleship is actually one of our core values that the church's love does. And again, as John talks about, not simply talking about loving each other, but actually doing something. And so we believe that that's a huge part of growing in your faith. And so these students have to be committed to giving back, whether, again, that be in a local church. I do want the community to know that we've got 60 students that are living on our campus who want to give and who want to serve, and so that when needs arise, whether that be emergencies or whatever that might be, to know that we've got a little miniature army there of college students that's ready to do something and ready to pitch in and help. So
understand we're on the green belt.
Absolutely.
Which is a good thing.
Absolutely. So our architects would tell you that the piece of land we bought was far from ideal for the project we wanted to build, and we said sorry. So that was by design. We knew we had to be on the Greenbelt, and we had to be near the University of West Georgia. The Greenbelt just gives our entire community access to our facility, so that was imperative to us as we looked around town where we might want to locate. We just knew we had to be accessible to everyone. So we've got a Zagster bike station that's going to be installed there, and we very much want to be a pit stop. If you're doing a loop on the Greenbelt, please come in, use our bathrooms, enjoy our free air conditioning, Wi-Fi, check your email, get something to drink, meet friends there for lunch, and then hop back on the Greenbelt. So that was very intentional.
And the location is also positive because I understand we have bus service to the university.
Absolutely, yes. So that's very important for us, not only for our students, for them to have access to the university, but also we really want the university students to be able to easily access City Station. So very much a two-way relationship there. We cannot thank Dr. Marrero enough for his support. He has been one of our strongest advocates from day one, and we are just so thankful for him and the partnership that we've got with his institution. So it's great that his students will be able to have access to our facility, as well as our students will now have transportation to his campus.
And the grand opening event this Saturday is when?
11 to 5.
Yeah, who's welcome?
Everyone.
All right, we'll be back with more with Pastor Shannon Lovelady and Kirby Butler after this word from Tanner Health System.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time, is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
Good morning. Welcome back to Community Voice. I'm Steve Graddick, your host. You can listen to us 106.3, 1330 AM, Facebook Live, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. This is a major deal, major undertaking. And the real world comes down upon you, and you've got to think about security.
Right.
I understand we've got a police precinct that's going to be there.
Yes, we've got a satellite police precinct there in the lobby. Basically what that means is Carrollton PD, County, University of West Georgia, whoever needs to, State Patrol, they're welcome to come in and use those facilities anytime they want for paperwork. We'll have their fridge stocked with snacks and drinks for them, and just another way that we can give back to them, and they can also help us out with security as well. And then again, multi-purpose, it doubles as our security center on Sunday mornings as well.
We want to acknowledge that Josh Engel is in the background there, and he's doing a great job manning that chair.
Looking good.
Looking good. We've also got a restaurant.
Yes.
Okay, elaborate. Tell us more.
Thrilled about the restaurant. So Michael Perkins was actually who our church partnered with on the mission field for the past, 15 years in Nicaragua. Prior to that, he actually ran a restaurant out on the West Coast called the Mustard Seed Cafe. So probably about a year ago, he just felt like God was calling him home back to the States. Perfect timing. We needed someone to run our restaurant. So we are absolutely thrilled to have Michael with us. The menu is going to be incredible. I'm so excited. We've got something on our side of town on Maple Street that's not a Mexican restaurant. I love all the Mexican restaurants, but thrilled to have a little bit of variety over there. It's going to be wonderful as a parent. We've got an indoor playground upstairs on the second floor, so I cannot wait to send my children up there to play while we have an adult dinner downstairs. It's going to be awesome.
Can you tell us a little more about the menu?
Sure. So how do you want to describe that, Shannon?
I was asking Michael yesterday, I was like, how do I describe that? And he said the biggest thing people need to know is, he said, it's, traditional American food for the most part. He said, but it's going to be cooked fresh, made from scratch, the dressings, everything, every single day. And the way he keeps saying it is made with a whole lot of love. And it's really hard to describe. Michael did a little sample for us out on the grill yesterday for some of the workers, and dude can just cook. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be top-notch quality food there.
And on that Made with Love, why don't you talk about the sales?
Yeah, we are, as we're getting established, we're committed to, again, Michael and Lisa, his wife, their heart is missions, and so the restaurant piece is going to have a constant missions focus. Michael and Lisa are still doing missions in Nicaragua. They're just doing it a different way and looking to expand that as well. And so we're committed to a portion of our sales actually going back to the mission field in different ways as well.
And so they provide catering for anybody that has meetings.
Yes, if they're on the second floor, we've got a staging warming kitchen behind all the conference rooms, and so if anybody wants to come in, again, do a banquet for a couple hundred folks, Michael and the Mustard Seed get right of first refusal there, and we provide all of that stuff as well for anybody that needs it.
In acknowledgement of our good friend who's, I'm sure, listening, Michael Dugan. Tell us about Ray Lynn.
They have been amazing. It's just...
Ray Lynn being the contractor
yes,
for the project.
Yeah, those guys have just been incredible partners with us. They get it from day one as well. They have... seen the vision, understand what we're about. It's just been incredible having those guys being local and understanding the importance of the mission here in Carrollton. So.
What's y'all's website?
It is, our church website is www.sohillcc.com, and then City Station is citystation.org.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, we've only got a couple of minutes left, so naturally we want to talk about the future. But tell us what you hope, or what you hope God will accomplish, or what do you see as the vision for the future here? And you talked the other day about legacy somewhat. And I know in our previous program we talked about hopefully this could become more. There may be a handful of others around the country, but this could really become a model around the country.
That's really our desire. Again, going back to the mission of, I believe, the church in general is making disciples who make disciples, and that's a multiplication thing. I believe my job as a pastor is to equip the saints and to for people like Kirby and our other members of the church to go out and be ministers of the gospel. And again, this is just a tool for us to do that. And so my hope is, I think about my kids. I've got 5 kids, and I think about 30 years from now that hopefully we are creating a legacy for Carrollton that not only expands in Carrollton when it comes to the income and things coming in, that we're committed back to the community, but honestly I think about other university towns and folks that want to plant similar churches, and us being able to help seed those. My desire as individuals is that we make disciples, but also as a church as a whole, as a large group of disciples, is that we can multiply ourselves there as well. So.
And I should mention there's a similar project at Purdue University called Faith West that's very much been the template for us. And so they've been wonderful, wonderful partners of ours, and we cannot wait to pay it forward. So our hope is that we can serve in that role for another church somewhere else, just like they've really helped us to get started.
Okay, tomorrow's a big day.
Yep.
A very big day. Well, not tomorrow. What is Saturday? I don't know what day it is.
They're all big days.
They're all big days.
They're all big days.
Saturday's a bigger day. Tell us again the time and who's invited and what will they find when they come out this
Saturday, 11 to 5, the whole town, whole community. Anybody that wants to come, we'd love to have you out there. Again, lots of giveaways. The radio stations are going to be out there with us. We've got free food. We have touring of the facilities, see what City Station's all about, rock climbing walls, blow-ups, basketball in the gym, just all kinds of stuff for the whole family to enjoy.
Our gratitude to Pastor Shannon Lovelady and Kirby Butler for being our guests this morning. We expect to see you this Saturday from 11 to 5 at City Station. You've been in tune to WLBB Carrollton.